Alright, now this is the Unreal Editor 3 from Unreal Tournament 3, and you can go purchase the game and it comes with the editor. And I will go ahead and open a basic environment that comes with the DVD. And this is the same environment that comes with a VFX DVD. And it's very simple. It's just a ground, some rubble, and some lights. And so in the generic browser, this thing that opens up with it, we want to import the mesh and those textures. And to do that, you just go File, Import, and locate those targas that we saved out. And we'll just go as Details, and basically you just want to grab all the diffuse first and then hit Open. And we will make a new package called E3D Texturing. And for the group, we'll put textures. And we'll leave the name. And usually I hit Defer Compression and Compression No Alpha. And Defer Compression just waits to compress it whenever you save the package. So you can do all your editing first and re-import, and then when you're ready, you hit Save. So we'll go ahead and do all this and hit OK to all. Alright, we'll scroll down to where it imported. Then we'll do the same thing with all the normal maps, except this time we'll choose the compression to be normal map, and same no alpha and defer compression, and just hit OK to all. Alright, now we want to import the static mesh, which was a scene S mesh, but we'll put this one in the meshes group and hit OK. Alright, and now we just need to create a material for each one of these really quick, and to do that we'll just right click and say New Material, and then we'll name it Cloth Matte. And then when this opens up, we just need to select the diffuse and go grab a texture sample, drag into the scene, hold down Control to move these around, and put the diffuse in there. And we need to do the same thing with the normal. And we'll go ahead and plug this in the spec as well, just so we get something. Alright, close that. Now the quickest way to get the other ones would be to right click and say Duplicate, and we'll name this one Concrete, and then we'll go ahead and do another one, Fence, and we'll go ahead and do another one, Ground, Sign, Wood. Now we'll just double click each one and change the node to use the new textures. So basically I'm just selecting the node and then clicking the green arrow which replaces it, and we'll just close it and hit yes to save the changes. And the same thing with a sign and the ground. So make sure you pick the ground for the ground. Alright, that's right. And the fence. And last, the concrete. Alright, now that we have all of those, quickly I forgot to put these in their own group. So you could just hold down Control and select each one, right click and say Rename, and just put in the materials and then hit OK over and over. So now we get the materials, the mesh, and the textures. Now we will double click the static mesh to open up the viewer, and you put the materials here in the LOD info. So we expanded the LOD info, and you notice there's only one, basically only one material slot. There should be like 6 or 7. And the reasons there's not one, I'll show you where we made a mistake. We'll just go back to 3ds Max. And we'll go through here, and you'll notice in 3ds Max we have the Metal Bump 9, and then we have the texture sample up here, right? So for some reason, Max wants some kind of texture in the diffuse. So the concrete had one. If we go down to the wood, you'll notice that the wood doesn't have one. So we need to drag, we'll just drag the same diffuse up to the wood. We'll go to the cloth, and we'll drag the cloth up, fence, and the ground, and the sign. And then we'll go ahead and put something in the grass for now. So it doesn't even matter what's in there, it just needs something in there. So we'll go ahead and put those concrete UVs. It doesn't matter what's in there. And then we will export this again, just override it, hit OK. Now we'll go back in here and just re-import it. But if you right click on the meshes, it'll default the meshes. So we just hit OK and we imported it back into the meshes directory, group directory. So when we export it now we have 7, 0 through 6. So that's 7. So that's common, but just make sure you have that. And so now we just need to plug in the different ones in here. And it's hard to know which ones to remember, but sometimes you just plug it in and be like, oh, that's concrete. So concrete, and then I think the next one, we can go back to Max and see a concrete, wood, cloth, fence. So next one should be wood, and then cloth, fence, and then round, I think. And then we have sign, and the grass, we'll just leave it for now. And it doesn't look great, but this is basically a start that we can see how the normal map reacts. And then we'll go ahead and close it, and we will save this package, and we'll just put it in the default Unreal. We'll name it E3D texturing. Now I paused the video right there, but whenever you save, especially when dealing with 2048s and deferred compression, it can take a long time. So the reason is it has to compress all these to DXT1 or whatever, and with 2048s it just takes a long time. So one workflow would be to, in your action in Photoshop, take these down to 1024. That way it's quicker back and forth. Or you can just keep using deferred compression, but whenever you hit save, just be prepared to wait maybe 5-10 minutes or whatever. And okay, now that we have everything imported and saved, we'll just go ahead and place this into our scene. And so we'll just select it and we'll hold down S, and we'll go ahead and full screen this. We'll hold down S and place it. And you'll notice it's kind of small, so we'll go ahead and change the scale right here to 2.5. That's how you change uniform scale. And we'll go ahead and move this into place. So basically I want this to be like a light source. So we'll go ahead and rotate this a little bit and move it. Looks alright. So now we have a basic setup. Some things look really ugly right now, but at least we can see that everything is ready to go to be textured, and everything is separated. We have cloth, we have the metal fence and the wood, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but the best thing that we can do here is just keep re-importing the textures as we go and see the real-time feedback on how those textures are reacting to light and how our progress is coming. Now we're going to head back to Photoshop and start throwing textures into our PSDs.